All right, here we go. Thanks, Amanda, for being here. For those of you who don't know, you guys probably saw me and Amanda in the hot tub blowing bubbles together on Facebook. Okay, that's Amanda. She made me do it.
I don't think they saw all the weird like boomerangs you made either.
No, they did. It was great. It was great. It's the first time I've ever been like sitting in snow in my swimsuit. Yeah. Snow just outside of the hot tub and then in the hot tub. But we got to finally meet in Utah last month. We've connected on social media in different ways, but I'm so glad to have her here. I asked her to come share her story with us and give us some thoughts on recruitment and duplication. Amanda's the bomb at recruiting and duplicating, but let's also say Amanda had to figure it out, right? It didn't just all fall together. I've heard your story and how you've tried different things to see what works. And are you frozen, Amanda? Are you there? Is she frozen?
Okay, I can hear you now. I'm like, oh no, I think it's me because everyone's frozen except me.
Yeah. And I saw you as frozen. Okay, are we back?
We're good. We're
Okay.
good.
So I was just saying that, you know what, you've had to figure things out on your own, right? In a lot of ways. And you had to, trial and error, figure out what's working. And so bring it to us. What do you have to share with us?
Okay. Oh my goodness, all this pressure now. Well, yeah. So I signed up. I'll just like a little bit of my story, I guess. I signed up July of 2020 in the middle of COVID, and I came in Raleigh for the business. I have 4 kids, and I just wanted an income from home. So I saw a graphic, and somebody was like, "You can make $700." It was broken down, so my skepticism was settled a little bit that I could see where the money was coming from. So I just jumped in with 2 feet. I went emerald in 12 months with the business, and it's like I've never looked back. It's been such a blessing for my family. My husband's cut his hours down to 20 and he's going to quit in the near future. So I am so passionate about helping other people get out of that grind of the day to day. And so, yeah, I'll share a little bit of like, I guess some tips and tricks. I don't know, in like 10 minutes, but I'm going to share my screen and I'll send these graphics to Jody. The big thing that I was driving to the gym this morning and I was like, when I get a brain baby, I'm like, oh my word. Like I was like, didn't even drink half my Slim by the time I got to the gym because I was just voice messaging to my team. Because I was just so excited when I started breaking out. I love numbers. And guys, this month for Leaders Retreat, they are doubling everything. Doubling retention, doubling signups, doubling rank ups, doubling.
Wow.
So, insanity. And when I started, I'm not sure where everyone's at in their business with rank ups or like silver, senior silver, kind of where you're at. But what I'm really honing in on is like we succeed by blessing and helping others. I have had seasons in my business where I've tried to do it by myself when I had leaders slowing down and I focused too much on that I didn't shift quick enough. And we really rise by lifting others and doing this as a team. And so what I got really excited about, like, yeah, I want to be on that ship and all of that good stuff, but I want my team to be with me too. So I started breaking out credits, you guys. And if somebody signed up and wasn't silver yet, okay, and I still have to hammer out very direct numbers, but they would get with all the doubling to about 700 to 800 credits this month if they signed up today. Okay, they'd be 2/3 of the way done cruise qualifications 1 month in. And now we've got retention points bleeding out in the next 3 months. Like they could pretty much take this cruise over their first month and make $1,600 US on top of it.
And how many are they signing up by doing that?
Are they going silver? Recruiting. I have to break out numbers, but I would say about 10 to 12 would be their own. Okay. But they're getting $1,600 in a cruise. So I am like, and they have their warm market and all of that good stuff. So I'll break out, like when I do it for my team, I'll send you breakdowns for you. Gotcha. But it is a buttload of money because rank up even, right? They get 100 points for silver and then they would get, what would it be? Anyway, I'm going to go look at the thing, but like 200 for gold and 150 for senior silver, and then 30 per sign up. Like, my mind is blown, you guys. Okay. So, and then even for yourself, something, and I'm going to talk a little bit about recruiting. This is a month where I would be recruiting. I always recruit. But if I wanted this, like, I would be like not wasting a beat, for one, with the double credits, but also the more recruiting you do this month, you now have 3 months of retention points coming through. And so that's where I would really be focusing. Like, I like to kind of look at and like game plan when I go for something, like right, strategize. That's the right word I'm looking for. And so for me, if I was new, and if your team is kind of dead and you're like, well, I'm just kind of getting going, the way that I would strategize, I would high load recruiting this month, because now there's more time for retention. And now you have more people that you can work with over the next few months to duplicate, get silver, get senior silver, get gold, right? So that's kind of how I'm working this contest. I'm going to just share my screen and I'll send, oh, disabled. Oh, can you make me host? I think then I can share my screen. Let me know when I can here.
Okay, go ahead.
Now I'm host. I feel like I got the power. No,
I think you'll have to give it back to me then when you're done.
Got the power. Yeah, I'll send it back. Okay. Okay. You are host now.
Oh, good.
Okay. So I will send these to Jody. This would be for somebody that is like existing, you know, like they're not ranking up, right? Like they're not ranking up to gold even. So this is just an existing, there's no rank ups. With that in mind, this was made up before we had all the doubling. And so if you did maze activities right here, you're going to double this number to 480, guys. 500 points is almost halfway to qualifying.
Wow.
It's insane. And then they're doubling retention. So anything you did in March and April, right? Now, when the people reorder this month, you're getting 30 credits for level ones that are reordering that ordered March and April. It's crazy, guys. So I would double that out. Now, if it were me though, like, I mean, I would just work like a boss this month, because like I could take 480 credits, or I could like work and do more than this. And I could probably get to 800 credits, right? So that's somebody existing. Oh, these are just some fun pictures. Where am I? I like it. This is what it is. Okay. What am I doing? Here we go. Okay. So this is somebody just coming in. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit here. April doesn't really matter anymore. Okay. So these are the credits, but we're going to double all of these now, right? So now these are all going to get doubled out for somebody new. So it is a lot. So I'm doing a lot of vision casting right now, because I want to take people with me on this cruise. So I'm doing a lot of vision casting to happy customers. I'm really going into high recruit mode. What you put out is what you get back. So you can't do, you know, a couple reach outs and have a couple no's and be like, oh, right? Like, expect the no's, expect the ghosting. I would go back through my planner and like people that you reached out to, even at Christmas, right? It's spring. People want to get looking good for summer. So go back through your people, go through all your old potentials and go there as well. But I'm super excited about this. And I don't know if this is also a really good opportunity, because you can double dip right now, the Canada cruise, if you're in Canada, and this cruise. And if you're in Canada or the States, silver stars, right? Because you get lots of credits for silvers. So I'd really be focusing on silvers and signups. And I just want to say, if you're like, oh, this is for the big, like bigger, no, this is easier for someone new than for a jewel, okay? Like, it just is. Jewels don't get rank up credits. That caps out at senior ruby. This is literally designed for you. Jewels never used to go on this trip. they stopped, like they just started after COVID because people wanted to be at their Jewel uplines. Like when I was on the Jewel call, they had a pie that they showed of like ranks of projections of what they're expecting on this cruise. And it was very even. It wasn't jewels, silver, gold. It was like an even pie. So, I mean, you guys can go as big as you want with this. I don't know about you. I went on the shopping spree to Bloomingdale's last time in Orlando. Guys, okay. So decide how far you want to go with this, because you could earn it, which is phenomenal. But if you're a high achiever and you just want to like maybe go shopping and do something else with it, pick a goal, because if you're not clear with what you're even doing with this or how far you're going with it, you're not going to get it. You can't get there without that. And the other thing, as far as like having people come alongside you, relationships. So if you're, this is what I did in my business the last few months, because I'm such a high recruiter. I really slowed down and got to know people. And I'm going to tell you guys what, people will not be interested in what you have to offer if you're not interested in them. So get interested in people and interested in what they need in their life, and listen and just love on people. And I promise you, you will get business builders. We don't get business builders by like sending this magic message, or, you know, you get it by, I think of any of my bigger business builders, any of my business builders really, and I have a relationship with them. That's where it started. And so really get to know your customers. Like I'm even just thinking, and it can go quick, like we can speed date. Just last month, I signed up a girl, or as a couple months ago, and I hopped on a wellness call and did a little bit of vision casting. And she was like, yeah, I'll like casually do this. I'm not really, right? So I was like, okay, you know, this is kind of a casual builder. I just loved on her because I actually care about her and got to know her. And like, she's in our community and she's going for the cruise now and like signing up for vendor events. And she's like all in. And like a month ago, she was like, see, and I was like, okay. And I wasn't developing a relationship to like get her. I was like, that's fine. And now she's like coming alongside. So those are some tips and tricks as far as that goes. I mean, I could do a whole other call on like the sign up process.
I know you're so good with your systems and everything. Thank you.
Yeah. So does anyone like have any, I don't know, anything, any questions or anything they wanted to hear about it? Or like, Jody, do you have anything?
I'm gonna let Lucy, Lil, Trish, Monica, Mary Beth, do you have anything in particular you want to ask her? Amanda's going to be hopping off in just a bit, I believe, and then we're going to keep chatting some more. I mean, you're welcome to stay on if you want, Amanda, but I think you said,
I'll
based on
drop
what we had.
Any questions? And I can definitely send the graphic.
That'd be great.
Jody. And when I crunch out some of these, I was like doing while I was driving. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my word. So
Okay.
I'll send out some numbers as well. Okay. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Lucy.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I think like I just feel your excitement. And sometimes I'm afraid to let myself get excited because, well, it could crash, it could, but I think it's essential and I love it.
Actually, Jody at Utah, she was like, Amanda, I think I know your secret weapon. Was this you?
Probably. Yeah, it was.
She's like, you're like super passionate. And I was even telling my husband that because people would be like, oh, what's your magic verbiage? And I'm like, guys, okay, when I was starting, I went gold in 6 weeks and my reach outs were, I'm not exaggerating, 2 screenshots, like 70% of the serotonin does this and 90%. I'm like, how do people sign up? Even that was horrible. Like, just like I didn't come in, I couldn't make a graphic, you guys. Like I sucked at graphics. I went Emerald still sucking at graphics. I didn't know how to run a Zoom. Actually, on my 10-year anniversary, we learned Zoom together as a senior gold. I'm like, I should probably figure this out. But I've always just been really passionate. And so passion will drive growth. But that's a gift of mine that God gave me. And so the only thing that I would stray from is trying to be like somebody else and thinking, okay, it's passion. If I could be passionate like Amanda, then no, guys,
Yeah.
like, it's like, no, there's so many different jewels out there. And like, I'm not a detailed person. I really don't care about details. They kind of give me anxiety, but I have some jewel sidelines. Like, I'm on the Canada focus group and there's so many different personalities in there, but it's like magic because we come in there and I got passion and then Krista's got this and right. And then Monique's very detail oriented and they're all highly successful in their businesses. So what I would really look at for yourself, because yeah, that is a secret weapon for me, but it might not be for you. And that's okay. It's like, what is my thing that God gave me that I can give to people that Amanda can't, that Jody can't, that Trisha can't, that Mary Beth can't? Like, what is the thing that I have to give? Because you have something inside of you.
So good. Thank you. Huh, I don't know if something's beeping here on my phone. All right. What would you just maybe before you go yet, unless somebody else has a question, but raise your hand if you have a question. What do you say to the person who might kind of feel like they're in a recruiting slump? Yeah, what's a piece of advice or inspiration and pulling out of that?
Pulling out of the recruiting slump, I would look at why you're not recruiting. Because you know why. I can't tell you why you're not recruiting. I don't know if it's maybe you're not giving your business the time, you're not doing reach outs the same way that you used to do, you're not posting consistently, because we can make this business complicated. We complicate it. It's pretty simple, right? It just works. If you reach out to people consistently and post consistently, you will have signups like coming in. So that's what I would look at first. Something as far as like a system, if you are in a recruiting slump, and I can send this board to Jody, is birthday sampling. It's tried, it's proven, it works. People that do this every single day sign up 3 to 6 people a month.
This is what we talked about yesterday, actually.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that is like, if I could give a quick, I love vendor events. That's my thing, but that's like a whole other course I could do. And it's a lot to, birthday sampling is so duplicatable. So that's where I would probably start. If I was in a slump, I would go to birthday sampling.
I love that.
Board.
Thank you. I have that board, Amanda, actually, and I've started using it.
And the other thing I'm just going to say is like, if you're like, my team is so dead and, oh, like, I don't know what to do with them. What are you doing? I know it's harsh, but like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You cannot expect your team to do stuff you're not doing. And so when you do things, they duplicate that, they look at that. You should be your highest output to your team yourself. And so look at what you're doing, because when you start showing up, your team will start showing up. And so the best way to get into momentum is do the things yourself, and people will come alongside. My team's not in an ebb and dead, but I'm just going to tell you guys, this is what 1 day worth of stirring the freaking pot did. Telling Jody, I have a hard time unplugging. I'm a workaholic. And so this is actually a win for me. My husband and I needed a day, an overnight date. We just did. It's been a month. Like, he tore his finger. It's just been like, it's been a month, and we were going to do a date. And I said, you know what? We're going overnight. Like, this is just, I don't care if it's month end, whatever. So I took off Friday night to Saturday about 2 p.m. Okay. Sunday night was month end. Of course, my team was quiet. I was quiet, and I almost fell in the trap. Okay. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I almost fell in the trap. I was like, I told Brandon, I was like, you know what? There's only a day and a half left. I haven't seen the kids, all the things. I'm like, they're dead anyway. Da 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 da. Wah, wah. Like, I'm just gonna like bless and release the month. He's like, are you for real? You're right. Stupid. I know, like, because the mom guilt was getting me. I went to my mom's to work because I have 4 kids with ADHD and a dog, and it was Sunday. I'm like, I can't even. So I went to my mom's, and we did about 20 signups in 24 hours. You guys, I went in that messenger. I'm like, who's doing a dual live? Like, And I'm like, I just signed somebody up. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sending voice messages. I'm like reaching down, like, oh my gosh, you still have this much long to do this. And we just like got the crap done. Okay. But I generated that. So your team is going to be as awake as you are. And the thing that I ask myself all the time is like, if my team showed up the way I did, where would my business be? If every single person on my team did what I do in my business daily, where would it be? And take that ownership, because you own your business. Your team doesn't work for you. You work for yourself. They're not your workers, right? Like, yes, they help us with goals. But when you go into that victim mindset of your team being dead and almost like being workers for you, it doesn't feel good to either of you or them. And so, yeah, just keep showing up. And it'll give you solidity in your business. I've had probably like 4 senior golds stop working, like team wide, maybe 13 to 15 golds that went up and stopped. And because I always show up, even with those people choosing out, because I wasn't sitting there relying on them and like whipping, like, okay, like, like get another one while I'm like signing up one. My business has never had this big, like crazy crash because I have always showed up. And now I'm not putting my business in the hands of other people. That scares me. Like, I'm not like giving it all to them. Does that make sense? It takes that ownership. And it can be either like, oh, or it can be like freeing, knowing that you control your own business. No one else does. And that to me is like freedom. Like, I get to choose what I want for my business. I'm not relying on other people. Like, I choose what business I want and create that. And if you have people that are dead or they're complainers and they don't want to show up, go find people that do want to show up. Like, get very specific about who you want to build with. Like, I am very specific about who I build with and who I want to work with, because I'm not here to drag people. And I honestly spend 80% of my time with 20% of my people and pour into the people that are excited about this, because dragging people is absolutely exhausting and you'll get burnt out.
So good. Wow. She just like brought us a message.
Like, I'm not, do you guys know Christina Williams? She's a
Yeah.
diamond.
Well, yeah. Lucy.
Yeah, I could just say cushy things, or I could be really blunt, right? Like, I'd rather just say things how they are and not like push around it, because that's just how it is. Like, if you want a thriving business. So
Yes. So good. This has been very, very encouraging, and just like I'm excited that our team just got to touch and feel a little bit of your passion. I think it's contagious. Your smile is contagious, your passion is contagious. And here's what I had to think. So yes, you guys should have seen her in Utah. I mean, she made the floor shake. Somebody got a sign up, or somebody ranked up. It was, yeah, she was
my
fun.
kids know if there's a silver, they're like, oh my gosh.
So I guess Brandon got that on Friday night. Oh, okay.
Who's all coming to Nashville?
I am Lucy. Can you see Lucia's, Trisha's?
Hey, come find me.
Okay.
Let's find each other.
You'll probably see Lucy right there with her baby
Oh,
in tow.
I love your red hair, Lucy. I have 2 redheads. I know. I didn't even cheat on my husband for it, because he's not even red either. I have 2 like orange, not even like redheads. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, my daughter is gonna look like that when she grows up. It's so pretty.
Did you want to say something quick, Lucy?
I had one more question for Amanda. So there's the thing about not being a cheerleader, or what do you call it, a hip type leader type of thing. What's your take on that? Like,
Not being.
where does like excitement over, maybe this isn't going to make sense, but like excitement over your people's achievement cross the line into being just, you know what I'm
You
saying?
hype girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you show up. So I know what you're saying, where you're like, good job, get another one.
Yeah.
You be excited for your team, but also like work. Like I signed up 25 people in March. Like I usually sign up 15 a month. I am the highest recruiter in my team. And I like to show my team that. So there's also Jules that are scared to tell their team what they're doing because they don't want to offend. They don't want people to feel like they're not doing as well. I'm like, that is doing.
No, she froze.
That makes so much sense though.
Yeah,
And I do this with them,
yeah.
right? I'm not like I am in the trenches with them doing the things with my team. So
That's good. Thank you.
I
All right.
appreciate Leaders Retreat and different contests they're doing now. It is heavily focused on your own work. So you have to work to get there. It's not like you're just riding off your team. Like I really love that they're doing that.
And I love that too. All right. Thanks, Amanda. We want to let you go. Thanks for your time. Can you put me back to host?
Oh gosh, I almost ended the meeting. And I think it's gonna end soon. It said we have like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here. All right. Well, thanks. You guys, isn't she just freaking awesome? Any feedback, any thoughts, any questions, what you heard or anything that you want to discuss? Like, what do you mean by that? I love what you put out there is what you get back. You know, expect the no's, and how quickly do we like send out a couple of messages and you get some ghosting or you get some no's and it's like, oh, I guess this just ain't for me. How often do you hear that? And wow. We rise by lifting others. That stood out to me too. Like, and how she talked about just really getting to know her people, really getting to know like what their interests are, and pay attention to what's going on in their life. And especially for some people who aren't on social media, it can be hard to know what's going on in their life unless you just like get really intentional about it. All right, so I'll share those graphics when she shares them here. I am curious, would you guys be interested in inviting new people to a welcome call? And if so, do we want to do that like on Thursday night, or do we want to do it at like 1 o'clock before next week's meeting? I would love some feedback on that. Like yay or nay, and then when? Lucy shaking her head, yes.
I
Yes.
would almost say next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, like at 1 o'clock. And it would be a separate Zoom link.
Yeah.
And then we hop off of that one, and then we actually get onto this one at 1:30 for our team meetup. Does that make sense? When you can put them back to back, you don't it doesn't feel like it cuts into your day so much.
Mhm.
And you know what? By that time, I think there was a lot of recruiting at the end of the month, if I remember right. At least a lot of what I did was at the end of the month. Because I did like a level 2 and a level 3 on Sunday, and I know there was another level 2. I helped a level 2 on Friday. So I'm not quite sure how it was for you guys, but by that point, a lot of them are probably going to have their products by now, and they're going to be a little bit more familiar with it. So I will, what's the best way? How many of you have team chats that if I share the link with you, you have a team chat, you can share that in? Because honestly, okay, Lucy does. Trish, you would too. Okay. Because I honestly feel like when it comes right from you, I think it can be even more powerful. How are you guys doing on your on your master list? Like, have you been working from your list or adding to your list since we talked yesterday? Anybody want to say anything about that? Lucy, go ahead.
I love the birthday samples. Isn't that part of what you're talking about?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, like just we talked about making the list, making that birthday list.
And just the one lady I reached out to yesterday, she had a birthday, and I just asked her how I can pray for her. And it fills me with excitement to do it more because she just needed prayer at that moment. It's like, don't be afraid to.
Yeah.
Love how that works.
I love that. How many of you have boards? I know Trish got boards. Did anybody else get boards? Lucy, do you know what I mean when I say boards?
I
Yeah.
downloaded it, but I haven't gone in there.
Okay. Feel free to ask if you have any questions about it, but I am falling in love with it. And if you want, it's so easy to share a system. Like I have Amanda's birthday system. I can just share that complete board to you and you can put it into your board and then you can edit any of them to say exactly what you want. And a lot of them, you're going to leave a lot the same. So if you want the birthday board, let me know. I'll send it to you. It's pretty incredible.
Jody, I have boards and I opened boards today and I only had 3 boards in there and I know I used to have like 15.
Wait, how'd you have 15 in there?
Well, I don't know. I had a lot of boards.
Well, are you thinking like if you open a board, then you have a bunch of posts?
Oh, maybe.
Probably.
I hope so. Because
Yeah.
I was concerned when I went into it today. I'm like, I think I lost everything.
I mean, I've only shared 1 or 2 with you, so that would make sense to me unless you went and created a ton of boards. No, look at them,
Okay.
open it up and then see. All right. So good to see you guys here today. And let's make some action happen this month. But it starts with me. It starts with like, for me, it starts with me. For you, it starts with you, right? Not waiting for everybody else to do it for you. Okay. Love being here. Oh, all right. We have 1 minute. I'm going to pray. God, thank you for each of the ladies that are here today. I just pray your blessing on the customers that we are already interacting with and all the people who are going to be joining us soon. I just pray that you would soften hearts and just also help us to be in that space of inviting, not begging, inviting and getting to know people, meeting them where they're at, and the reality that, you know what, sometimes that means praying for them. Sometimes that means offering them a sample. It can mean so many different things. But Lord, I pray that you would give us passion and boldness. And I just pray that you would help us all to be that Proverbs 31 woman who just is wise in how we interact with our people. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks, guys, for being here. See you later.